Last week was a tough week here in Prince George. Lost a local legend. He's a man of many talents, who's involved in many things. I'm talking about Dick Voneugen. We're going to talk about him on the show today with some very special guests. I continue learning the legacy of this man, who's just seemed to be involved with everything in town. So we're going to talk about that today. Plus, we're going to head up to Art Knapp's and do a little bit of seed planting as well. All that and more coming up on CKPG Today. The Omineca Arts Centre, as you can tell by this board, there's a lot going on in Prince George. There's also a lot going on inside here because I got a new Artist of the Month. We're going to talk to Kale Jeffery today in our local artist spotlight with the Omineca Arts Centre. Come on inside, let's go. Inside the Omineca Arts Centre here downtown Prince George now with the Artist of the Month. How's it going, Kale?
Pretty good.
Yeah, well, thanks for making the time to chat today. Tell me a little bit about your exhibit that's on here.
The exhibit revolves around my manga series. I make a manga series that centers around a transgender main character. So yeah, the whole exhibition is basically just about the comic and how it was made and yeah.
So tell me, manga, or manga, I don't know, manga, okay, manga. What got you into doing this?
I mean, I grew up reading manga when I was like I discovered manga when I was a teenager, and I was just like absolutely fascinated by it. So the style went on to like influence my art in general for like since I was like, I mean, I started drawing when I was like 8 years old.
Okay,
right?
so you've been drawing for a long time.
But I started really getting into like the manga style when I was around 14.
How many hours does it take to do like even one of these, like the one beside you here?
Well, actually this piece, this probably goes on record for the longest I've ever worked on a piece. This was like probably like, I would say 20 hours.
Whoa.
20 hours.
Did you do it at once?
Not all at once.
Okay.
No, it's just over the course of a week, you know? So yeah. Yeah, like, I mean, my artwork takes anywhere from like an hour to like 10 hours. It just depends on how detailed it is and everything. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess the manga style is a little bit cartoony, so it doesn't make, the process is a little like simpler than other types of art, I guess. But I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Well, it's just different. I wouldn't call it simpler. Yeah, just different, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what drew you to it, first of all, is just reading comics, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, like when I was a kid, I was like really into reading, but when I discovered manga, it was like, oh, I hadn't really read a lot of graphic novels or anything before that, but I think it was just, yeah, the combination of like the comics, like the stories in manga tend to be a little bit more like slice of life than American like Western comics. So I was really into that. I was really into like, looking into characters' daily lives and stuff like that.
What would you say out there, Kale, for people wondering? I mean, obviously they have a wide variety of artists here at the Omineca Arts Centre. I think this is the first manga one that we've covered. So this is really interesting for me to look at and pick your brain about. This is awesome. So thanks for spending the time. Your advice to younger artists, what would you say? Because there's a lot of them out there. And I know that even when I went to high school, lots of people kind of dabble in manga and maybe give up and go in and out. What would your advice be to someone out there?
Well, I mean, the thing is that I could go on forever because like I've thought about this a lot because I mean I'm somebody with like autism and ADHD, so starting a project like such a big project like that was difficult for me, and I had to find my own way. And I guess like I just studied a lot of other manga artists' works and like basically not necessarily copying them, but just taking elements of their work that I find very inspiring and sort of applying it to my own work, right? I actually have a whole workshop on the 28th.
Yeah, tell me about this coming up here, because this is your chance to learn manga, right?
Yeah, I'm basically going to be talking about what it's like to be an artist with like ADHD especially, and like, how to get started working on like a big project and how to like do manga when you have, like, yeah, when you're struggling with like, motivation, right? Because like I have I have the executive dysfunction type of ADHD, so it can be really hard to just start things, right? I can have tons of ideas, but it can be really hard to just start stuff. So yeah, I'm going to be talking all about that and doing like a digital art demonstration as well.
Perfect. Well, thanks for sharing. It takes a lot of courage to come out and share that as well. So I think that's good. It's all about breaking the stigma and the barriers. And you're an example of that here with some gorgeous art inside the Omineca Arts Centre. So come check it out during the month of March. And yeah, thanks again for your time.
Thanks so much.
Local Artist Spotlight on CKPG Today is brought to you by Omineca Arts Centre, a safe space for creativity to flourish.
In the end of February, Prince George lost one of the living legends of the community here in Prince George. We're talking about Dick Voneugen. And Shirley, thanks for coming on to talk a little bit about Dick today. Just a guy that touched the community in so many ways. Where do you start?
Well, I think that many people in Prince George won't have an idea of the incredible legacy that Dick left in our community. Our connection basically started with Terry Fox and the Terry Fox run, but also both of us are Dutch, and so we have a very natural connection. So Dick had a special role to play in the Dutch community, but also in our community more broadly. Yeah,
I was doing some research on Dick, and like this guy just seems incredible. Born in Holland in 1932, he wrote a little thing back in the Citizen actually about 10 years ago, saying about living through the war, what that was like, how tough that was, and then how he ended up in Canada, first in Port Alberni, then sometime in Vancouver, and then in Prince George in 1965. So he lived in Prince George for a long time.
For
like
decades.
That is that's a lifer.
He was, and we certainly felt like he was.
Yep.
And as you can imagine, as the daughter of a Dutch mother, the stories that we shared in terms of what happened to our families in Holland, really difficult. But you know, Dick was proud of his heritage. But he loved his new home in Prince George. And when you stop and think about the things he impacted, you know, whether it was Otway, the Greenway trails, the ice oval, he's known to have been a little bit stubborn and certainly was ferocious when it came to increasing capacity, creating especially outdoor venues. He was very, very proud of our city, and you know, we're going to miss him a lot.
Yeah, no kidding. He's the only person, unless this has happened since the stat chain, the only person to win Citizen of the Year twice, right?
That's
1995, 2007.
Pretty special to win Citizen of the Year once, much less twice.
Yeah,
so
no kidding.
I think that speaks volumes about Dick and his passion for our community. And one of the things, the images I will always remember is the start of the Terry Fox run.
Yep.
And Dick had a horn, and I can tell you, he would offer us the opportunity to use it. No one could make it work like Dick could, so I'm not sure what the secret was. But that thing, you could hear it for blocks, and there's something very, you know, I will never forget that memory of him at the start of the Terry Fox run. And of course, for me, the gratitude ceremony that he helped to organize for Dutch families to say thank you to Canadian veterans who were so pivotal when it came to the liberation of Holland. So lots of wonderful connections with him, and you know, I just hope that Prince George stops and takes a moment to think about the contributions that Dick made.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I remember, it's funny you say the Terry Fox run. So he created it here, right? Like he was kind of
He was certainly
that.
pivotal to the beginning of it, yes.
And I remember you talking about the horn thing as a kid, myself even running in the Labor Day Classic.
Yes.
He was always at those,
Yeah.
so always a good guy to chat with there. And then the outdoor oval, he was behind the group that created that. And the Greenway trails, talk to me about that too. Like there's just so much, there's a long list here. We could talk for hours.
Well, and that's very true. Like at Otway as well, when you think about, you know, Dick loved to be involved in the outdoors, and so he was very fierce about wanting those types of facilities in our community. His connection goes directly to Terry Fox. When Terry Fox came here, of course, he and Tom Massich were critical to that whole process, and you know, so his connection, for example, with Terry was a personal one. And he took that to the next level. And, you it's fantastic now to see Sylvia Massich organizing the Terry Fox run, but Dick certainly had a passion. He was a fantastic volunteer, and he was still running and competing, like into his 70s.
Yeah, I saw that story Ron Gallo actually mentioned of driving him to competitions to coach as well recently. Like
the BC Seniors Games.
Yeah, like he didn't stop.
That's right. He was still competing, and I think that from my perspective, I will always be grateful. And I as I've said, if Prince George looks back and they look at some of those amazing venues, hopefully they'll stop and take a moment and think about Dick and the role he had to play. He is one of the iconic people in this community. Came here, loved it, contributed enormously. Very sad to lose him, but I know he certainly will be remembered, and hopefully we'll get a chance in the future to honor his commitment to our community.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thanks for coming in to talk about this, Shirley. This was a lot of fun to, just doing the research, learning about Dick and his impact in the community. I mean, I saw the guy around at everything, but I didn't realize he was so entrenched and really behind, all of the mainstay civic facilities that we have and enjoy these days. Lots of it thanks to him. So I know he's watching from above, but shout out, Dick, for all your contributions here to Prince George. And just want to send along condolences to the family as well. Thanks for coming in.
Absolutely.
This was
Thank
special.
you for having me and letting me chat about a friend that made a difference and somebody that I care about a great deal. Thanks a lot, Caden.
Thanks.
Miss an episode? That's okay, life gets busy. We get it. Or maybe you didn't miss anything, but you're here to watch that one feature again because honestly, it was that good. No judgment. Here's the good news. You can relive every moment of the CKPG Today Show whenever you want. Head over to ckpgtoday.ca, click on the Today Show tab, and voila. So grab some snacks, kick back, and binge away because let's face it, life's too short to miss out on great local TV.
There's so many seeds here at the Art Knapp plant line in Prince George. You can get lost in here. Oh, there you are. See, I almost lost producer Zach. They got lots to talk to you about here, including when you should plant your seeds, what kind of seeds you should plant, and we're going to find out Prince George's favorite seed today with Joss Van Heg here at Art Knapp. As you can see, this is a sign of spring. Even the soil is excited, Joss, to have some stuff in it.
Time to get your fingers dirty, that's for sure. But we're doing a little seeding demonstration, but of course, what you have to know first of all, what do we need, before we start seeding. Some people, they get all the trays and inserts and everything else from the garden center.
Yep.
Or you have some old containers at home, you can use them. When you use the trays, there's trays with no holes and there's trays with holes. So when you don't want to dump the water on the carpet, then you get the ones with the no holes. When you get the inserts at the garden center, there's all different types. You just sit right in there. You put the dirt in the soil, no dirt.
No dirt,
okay.
Soil, yeah.
The main thing is, get good soil.
Okay.
Don't use soil from outside because you don't know what's in it. There might be a fungus in it, there might be some insects in it, Yeah. You get a good starter mix. We make our own starter mix. You save yourself money.
Yep.
Or you can buy it, in the store.
Yep.
Normally, a starter mix is a very, very fine.
Different than other kinds of soil. Starter mix is a little special.
Yeah. This is, for instance, our #1 soil. We make about 30,000 bags a year of this soil.
Whoa.
But this can be used more or less for, more or less a larger seed.
Okay.
But when you have a very fine seed, then you're better off go with the starter mix. We make all our own soil because I've always said, soil is your foundation. You don't build a house in the swamp. You make sure you've got a good foundation. And the same with, you're better off to spend a little bit of money on soil, than anything else. Yeah. Because when you have the wrong soil, you're asking for trouble. So you did all that work for nothing. Then you get your seeds. In this case, we have very small.
Oh, yeah, those are really small.
These are leeks.
If I sneeze, those will blow away.
yeah. So you have to be very careful, When you do seeding, there's lots of different devices, you can put the seeds in there.
Right.
We just do it by hand. It's a little bit more work. So, this is leek seeds, so you can put a couple of them in there, at the same time.
Mix them in.
Okay, yeah. And then, of course, you get some good soil after that. You just cover it up slightly, not very heavy, okay? Very slight.
And don't compress it?
Not too heavy. So what you do, the main thing is, after they are planted, this tray was planted on Saturday. Okay, then what you do, you mist it. Make sure you use a little mister or a watering can with a very, very fine sprout that you don't wash, the soil away. Okay?
Don't flood them.
Yeah, don't flood them. Don't. And then what you do is then you put a dome over it. And some people don't have a dome, but they use a plastic. Here, there's some water. See, that's what I mean when you put a dome over it. Yeah, you make your own greenhouse effect. So you put it over.
Oh.
Okay. Now you don't the soil don't dry out as fast. There's humidity, and now what you have to do is you give it heat, bottom heat, on the top of a fridge, or where there is a little bit of bottom heat. No blowing air on it. Okay.
Don't do
that. And then lots of light.
Okay. Don't put these on your basement floor though.
No. So what seeds want, is light, heat, and humidity, of course. A little bit of water. Yeah. And they will germinate.
Maybe some words of encouragement. You talk nice to them.
Put on some music. What you do after they are planted, you give it a shot of 10, 52. No, this is 20, 20, 20. Sorry. Okay. The 10, 50, the 25. This is 52. 52.
A lot of numbers.
Okay.
I'm not good with numbers either.
No. First number is nitrogen. Second number is phosphorus. Third number is potash.
Okay.
So the second number they produce roots, and flowers and fruit, of course.
Gotcha.
But what do we want in the beginning? We want a very good root system. So we only give it 10% nitrogen, 52% phosphorus, and 10%, potash. Okay. So what you do, you fertilize with that. You fertilize them in, and maybe after 2 weeks, when they're up a little bit, you can give it another shot of the 52-10. And then later on, when they break out to about maybe 4 or 5 leaves, then you can go over to like an all-purpose fertilizer, like a 20-20-20.
Gotcha, something a little less. I'll ask you this, Joss, too. You've been working in the business for a long time here. What is Prince George's favorite seed to plant? What would you say?
I would say, potatoes are unbelievable. Everybody can grow a potato, okay? And when you look at the amount of potatoes we sell in Prince George, and I'm a member of the BC Nursery Trade Association, and to be honest, the National Nursery Trade Association. We in BC, in Prince George, I've been here for 46 years, we probably outdo anybody in BC on seed potatoes.
Wow. Well, thanks for your time today, Josh. This was fun. I even learned a little bit from you today. How about that?
Well, there's lots of more stuff to talk about. Of course, I can stand here for hours. How to get rid of, your insects, stuff like this.
We could talk so long these would start growing.
Yeah, use your sticky strip,
It's time to head outside for a very picturesque CKPG snapshot today. This one from James Chuby, one of the beautiful nights, you could say, at Ness Lake. There's lots of beautiful nights in the summer, but in the winter, some more beautiful nights as well. This is a beautiful sunset. And yeah, the sunsets, sunrises continue to be just great wonders that Mother Nature gives us here in Prince George. Thanks so much for sending this one in, James. Hey there, got an idea or a suggestion for the show? Reach out and connect through our social media or send us an email at letstalk@ckpgtoday.ca. Here's what's coming up in our community. Check out Crystal, Cirque du Soleil's production stopping in Prince George. World-class ice skaters, extreme skaters, so much excitement at the CN Centre from March 6th to 9th. You won't want to miss this. Tickets at ticketsnorth.ca. Check out the PG Conference and Civic Center for a return of a tradition. This is an evening in India and support the Spirit of the North Healthcare Foundation and Cardiac Care in Prince George. It's your chance to try a bunch of Indian food for a good cause. Check out UNBC for the Central Interior Science Exhibition. This is a chance to see some youngsters with some impressive science experiments they want to show you. That happens March 8th up at UNBC. Vanier Hall back at it for another Prince George Symphony Orchestra performance, this time the Greek Piano Concerto. Guest pianist David Fung will make an appearance for the performance, and all your PGSO favorites along with that as well. Tickets at pgso.com. If you have an event, send us the info. Let's talk at ckpgtoday.ca.
Prince George and golf courses have a tough relationship. And by that I mean, well, there's a lot of debating around golf courses, whether it's the PG Golf and Curling Club over the years or Pine Valley. And well, today's an interesting day in local history because it was the day the Pine Valley driving range was sold. For a good price, actually. Let's take a look at this today in local history.
A bittersweet day for local golfers in 2003 because the Pine Valley driving range was sold on this day. Bittersweet, and it only sold for $2.5 million. Nowadays, that is, I'd say it's a bargain, to be honest. Craig Wood, the Wood Wheaton Group, they moved in, turned it into Wood Wheaton, the new Wood Wheaton Super Center that they have now. But the Pine Valley Golf Course lives on despite the controversy, so the driving range was lost. However, the golf course lives on.
If you're asking me, that is a heck of a price. I'd say a bargain, honestly. So yeah, under $5 million. You can't beat that. Imagine what it would cost today. That's almost worth a house in Vancouver. Okay? Anyways, thanks so much. Aren't you glad you live in Prince George? I sure am. We'll see you for more good stuff on the show tomorrow. Bye for now, folks.